What's up, y'all? It's me, Erica. We are down here to talk about Real Housewives of New York. I didn't realize it's Friday. Happy Friday to y'all. Happy Friday to y'all. I don't know what's going on at this park. It's just a hot mess. And yeah, I don't understand. It's so weird. People are so weird. So what's going on, y'all? It's Friday. Real Housewives of New York. What are we talking about today? I'm being nosy. The city truck parked across 4 or 3 parking spaces. Girl, what is that about? Okay, so let's get into the Real Housewives of what is this, New York? I guess go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let the diva know you stopped by. Y'all, look, I don't know about these. I'm not sure. I don't think that I could use these for videos because I need to be able to look at y'all. You know what I'm saying? And these is coming real low on the diva's nose. They're sliding down. I'm gonna need some little guards or whatever. So we're gonna try. We're gonna see. If I don't feel comfortable, then we switch these bitches up. You know what I'm saying? All right. So let's talk about, if I'm adjusting too much, I know I already adjusted, but you know, with the scarf on, it kind of moves it in a certain way, so we just want to make sure. All right, so let me go ahead and let y'all know to like and comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell twice, so that you can get notifications of premieres and uploads. Oh, okay, that's Nipsey. Shout out to Nipsey Hussle. All right, so where are we here? Okay, so we start off with Sonia, Dorinda, Ramona having, what were they doing? Sonia, Dorinda, and Ramona were someplace. I don't know where they were, but I know that Tinsley, Leah, oh, they went to work out. Then Tinsley, Luann, and, girl, I don't know if I like these, and Leah. What y'all think? Y'all let me know. I don't know. If I'm gonna be worried about these, I said I was gonna try them out and let y'all decide. That's what my son said. Just wear them and let the people decide. Okay, we gonna see. I don't know. They would be cute red though. Come on, girl. They would be cute red. I think these might be for, you know, at home. Oh, I thought I had something in my nose, girl. I was gonna say, y'all didn't tell me. So they sitting down. They working out. One group is working out. One group is sitting down eating. Tinsley, they talked about Tinsley screaming. You know, Tinsley gets upset, and when she gets upset, she starts screaming. Her voice starts screeching. What's her name mentioned it? What's the girl's name? Luann mentioned it, and Ramona mentioned it, and Dorinda's like, it just gets on my nerves. And Leah's like, you just need to stand up to Dorinda. And Leah says Dorinda doesn't care for the lifestyle, the being born with the silver spoon in your mouth, and then but you throw tantrums. So she's not really with the tantrums. The tantrums don't work, and that's what Luann said. Like, you get upset and then you throw a tantrum. And I think that might come, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do these, y'all. I think that might come from just her upbringing. You know what I mean? I think that being born with a silver spoon in your mouth, when you don't get things your way, how do you respond? When you've been given stuff all and you don't know what it's like to not be given stuff or to not have your way, then how do you expect her to act? And just like Ramona said, and here I am agreeing with Ramona again, Tinsley doesn't have an emotional intelligence. She has a very low emotional intelligence. What does she say? I was like, God, you are right. She doesn't have the right tools. She hasn't been given the right tools to respond to conflict. You know what I'm saying? Girl, it's just a mess. It's a little thicker over here. I don't know what happened. All right, but she doesn't have the tools, and I agree with that. She doesn't have the mental or emotional intelligence, and it's just not there. And that's what Ramona said about Tinsley. And I 100% agree. I really do. I really agree with what she's saying. I really see that Tinsley does throw tantrums. However, Dorinda she was saying some crazy stuff to old girl. So she said, Dorinda She said Tinsley is not a victim. This is another thing that Ramona said. I was like, okay, Ramona. There's another thing she said, girl, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this because I need to be able to look straight into the camera. So I'm not about to do this for the rest of the time, honey. We are not about to do this. Come on, faithfuls. We are not about to do this. Here we go. You know what it is? I'm not used to frames. That's what it is. I'm not used to frames. That's what it is. Okay, anyway, I'm comfortable now. I could look up and look at y'all and not be like this. Dorinda victimizes Tinsley. Tinsley is not a victim, but Dorinda victimizes her. And I was like, okay, Ramona had a lot of good things to say that kind of was like, okay, I see what she's talking about. Like, I could see that perspective. And then Leah was telling Tinsley, you know, you got to be, even when Tinsley and Luann and Leah were talking and Tinsley got riled up, she stood up. She stood up and was like going like this, like, girl, relax, like, relax. You just don't have the tools to deal with conflict or someone like Dorinda. And this might be your time to learn what it is. Might be your teacher. Dorinda might be the person to teach you how to deal with conflict in a way that you don't have to scream and throw a tantrum, because nobody likes it. It's annoying. Luann thinks it's annoying. Ramona thinks it's annoying. Sonia thinks it's annoying. I think it's annoying. Dorinda really thinks it's annoying. And you have to respond a different way. All that hollering and screaming, you can't do that at 44 years old, honey. You're not doing that. Tinsley's what, 44, 43? You can't do that. So Leah was like, you either got to give her Cardi B or you got to give her Dalai Lama. What you gonna give her? I was like, yes, like you either got to be a gangster with her or you got to be, oh, I'm peaceful and all this other stuff. But Dorinda said that I'll get to that. So she says, what did she say? She said, oh, well, you know, you just gonna be, what she say, Cardi Lama. That's what you just got to be Cardi Lama or Dolly B. What she say? I don't know what she said. But she was like, either you got to be gangster with the lady or not, whatever. So Dorinda says she goes to her therapist, her life coach, and she says she is angry with Tinsley. And she says she's angry with her because she just doesn't like that, oh, woe is me, victimized mentality. Even though, like Ramona said, she's not playing the victim. You're victimizing her, and she's reacting in a way that is giving you the ammunition to say, oh, this is why I don't like you. You know what I mean? Like, remember I said that's what I feel like Kyle is doing to Denise? I want you to act a certain way so that it can affirm what I believe about you. Same thing with Molly and Issa. I want you to fail so it can affirm what I believe about you. And I'm going to create a hurdle so that I'm going to be the one to create the hurdle so that you can fail so it can affirm what I believe about you. And I believe that is what Dorinda is doing with Tinsley. But I totally get it. Nobody wants to be around a whiny ass, grown ass woman who's talking about stuff that, you know, when I'm dealing with I'm a widow. I'm dealing with this man that I don't know. Like, I've grown out of the relationship with John. I had to clean up my house that I shared with Richard, and it brought up a lot of memories because I didn't allow myself to grieve. All of these things, and you worried about whether your hair is straight or curly. Girl, we can't relate. I can't relate to you. And it's annoying. And I get it. I totally understand where Dorinda is coming from. I totally get it. She says we don't, and then her life coach says we just don't know when we're coming across people. And I love that he said that. When you are coming in contact with people every day, you don't know what those people are dealing with. You don't know what kind of trauma they've dealt with. You don't know if they've healed from it. You don't know what experiences these people have and why they're behaving in this way. That's why I was saying the things about, you know, what I'm not gonna even bring that up. Okay. Dorinda said she had so much stuff in Greystone Manor, and when she was getting the things up, she said, I just felt like I was getting angry. And I think what happened was Dorinda wasn't allowed to grieve, or didn't allow herself to really grieve. And then she jumped into that relationship with John, to her admission. And she said that she pretended like things were okay after Richard died. And I believe that me not allowing myself to grieve, acting like everything was okay, stunted me. And I said, yes, Dorinda, you better have a breakthrough, girl. I was like, yes, because, and that could be said about a lot of things. It's like when you are holding on to stuff, and you don't allow yourself to grieve the ending of something, and you keep holding on to it, even if it's just the past and you holding on to the past, you haven't healed from or anything, that's going to manifest in your relationships. And I said to myself when I was watching, Dorinda is so lucky that that didn't manifest in her body. Like that pent up grief and that becoming angry, but then acting like everything is okay. Like you're really angry that this man died. You're really angry that you can't live the life that you really envisioned for yourself. You're really angry about that. And here comes this girl, you know, pony pigtails just flapping in the wind, daisies in her hair, you know what I'm saying? Just like, I don't know, no worries in the world, hasn't had any real life issues to deal with, hasn't, you know, none of that. You just don't relate. You're like, girl, what? Get away from me with all this stuff. What are you crying about, girl? Because I have a reason to cry. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what, I love that Dorinda had a little breakthrough right there. And I really think that she looks refreshed in her interviews too, y'all. Like, I was like, look at Dorinda. She really looks refreshed to me. All right. So she said that she needed to get quiet. Dorinda said she needed to get quiet. It felt like it was a bunch of noise around her, and she needed to get quiet. And I said, that's what happens. That's what happens when things like that happen. For some people, isolation, solitude is important, because you have to be able to allow yourself to have a feeling and without pretending around everybody else, right? And I think women do that a lot. I feel like women do that. We act like everything is okay, and it don't be okay. We got a tornado going on within us, and we're just like, okay, we're taking care of everybody else. We're making sure everybody else is good, and we don't take care of ourselves. We don't allow ourselves to feel. We don't allow ourselves to grieve. We have to be like everything is okay because we are not putting ourselves first. And I'm so glad that that life coach told her, you have to put yourself first. You cannot take care of anybody if you don't even put yourself. If you are the caregiver, you can't take care of nobody if you don't put yourself first. You come first. That's why when you're on an airplane and the damn things fall out of the sky, you put your mask on first. Then you put the other person's mask on, because you can't go around helping a bunch of people while you running out of breath, girl. Okay? And I am so glad that he said that, because a lot of people, we are now coming out of that mindset that, you know, women need to put themselves first in throughout their lives, even with children. And I think that society makes women feel guilty about that. Even when what was that girl's name? Was it Brene Brown? It was somebody on Oprah, and she had everybody put in the list what was important to them. Make a list of the things that are important to you in your life. And she said the majority of women had themselves either last or not on the list at all. And that's terrible. But society makes women feel like you got to take care of everybody. And if you say, baby, that you take care of yourself first, now you're selfish, you're a bad mother, you're all of these things that society is telling you, and it manifests in your other relationships. You start being angry, people start drinking, shopping, eating, all of this stuff. I'm so glad, I said to myself, I'm so glad Dorinda did not manifest these feelings in her health. She could have made herself sick. You know what I mean? Because when you don't let those things go, when you don't allow yourself to cry, when you don't allow yourself to feel, you cannot heal, right? What's her name? Candace. I think that's her name. Girl, she said you got to allow yourself to feel in order to heal. Because if you're ignoring those feelings, you just holding them. And that's what Dorinda was doing. I know I'm on a long thing, but that scene, I was so happy for Dorinda to say, you know what? All of this stuff was in my house. I was holding on to these memories of my husband. The house flooded. I had to throw away. It was water that made her throw away to cleanse your house. It's about to be a flood in here, girl, because you're holding on to the life and this man. You need to let it go. You need to break up with that man, and you need to be by yourself for a second so that you can actually grieve, because you haven't grieved. And you becoming a bitch to your friends. I was like, come on. So I loved it. She says, you got to quiet. She had to quiet, take all of the noise away. And that's where meditation comes in. Take all of the noise away so that you can be with yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Anyways, they get to this bathhouse, child. It's a mess. I wouldn't even go in there, let alone Sonia talking about, I don't come down here. Dorinda was like, I don't come down here. When you get past Canal Street, it gets dark. Bitch, are you saying it gets dark because of the civilians walking around? Or it's just a gloomy area? Dorinda, what you trying to say, girl? So they get there. On the way there, Luann tells Dorinda, you know, I had a conversation with Tinsley and Leah, and she was like, I'm sure I was the topic. She was like, well, you were. And she says, you know, Leah wants Tinsley to take the gangster approach with you. And she said, well, you know, and then she said, that's why I like her. I like Leah. And I think she likes Leah because Leah is down to earth. Leah is around the same age as Tinsley. And Dorinda, because she's probably, I don't know, maybe she's bonding through I don't know. I don't think she's bonding through the trauma and making that the reason why she relates to Leah, but she just is like, Leah is down to earth. Leah is down to earth. They get to there and she was like, yeah, she's gangster and that's why I like her. And we always say that Dorinda is a little gangster, especially when she gets to drinking. You know what I'm saying? So they get to the bathhouse. They're drinking ginger vodka, which sounded really good. I was like, oh, get some ginger vodka. Tinsley got some ginger vodka. The dude was like, in Russia, we take shots of vodka. We don't sip vodka. She was like, well, I'm an American. Okay, girl. Ramona's hair looked a mess when she walked into that damn bathhouse. I was like, what's going on with Ramona? Anyway, it was so funny when they showed the sign on the bathhouse that said grade pending, because, you know, they serve food there. It was hilarious. So they get to the bathhouse. They're having a good time there. You know, it's a little weird, but I like that the women were being good sports about it because, you know, they can be a little snobby sometimes. So when they're eating lunch, Ramona makes a suggestion for them to go to Newport. Leah makes a toast that says, you know, I really thank you guys for accepting me. You know, I really admire you guys. I adore you guys. I respect you guys. And thank you for, you know, basically, you know who I am. And thank you for being cool with me. So they start talking about, she was like, well, you know what? We're ignoring the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is what happened at the winery. And we need to talk about that. We're acting like it didn't happen. And I think that's what they do a lot of the times. And I think that's kind of why everything comes back up, because they don't acknowledge it. They act like it didn't exist. But then that starts the conversation. So Dorinda says, the only reason why I said anything to Tinsley was because Tinsley made that passive aggressive remark about John and about not sharing. So that's the only reason why I laid into her ass. Okay. And then she was like, well, sometimes, Ramona goes, sometimes, Dorinda, you know, when you go after people, you really go for the jugular. And she goes, you should know you do the same thing. I said, oh, Dorinda, just listen. And that's what I don't like when people do that. Girl, just listen. We're not talking about me. And the reason why I recognize it, dummy, is because I do it too. So I recognize you do it. Stop. You don't have to defend yourself every time somebody is giving you feedback about your behavior. You know, sometimes you just need to shut your damn mouth and listen, period. And that's what Dorinda, she's too busy being defensive. And then that's when she comes for your jugular, because they showed the clip of her telling Luann, at least I don't have a mug shot, when Luann was acting like she was concerned about Dorinda's drinking. And Dorinda was like, girl, I can drink. At least I don't have a mug shot. So she comes at people like that. And Ramona's like, girl, I don't even want to talk about it. Forget it. Ramona was like, girl, we're not talking about me, girl. And so she said, why would you say in front of a group of people, asking me how would I feel if John was texting somebody? And it reminded me of the Atlanta Housewives when Kenya asked the group, how would you feel if your man was giving out his number or asking women for numbers or whatever, right? It reminded me of the same thing. And Dorinda was not happy with it. Would be if it was, well, Kenya wasn't as direct as Ramona was. And that's the difference in the personalities. But Ramona was like, what would you do if John was out here texting women? And we know that Ramona is out and about around town, and so Ramona sees things, you know what I'm saying? So you might have been trying to insinuate that John was out here getting numbers and stuff and texting women and stuff like that. So I don't like that you said that. And it just reminded me of Atlanta. So she said, why would you do that? Like, don't do stuff like that. You do the same thing. And so Dorinda tells Ramona, you know, if you want to tell me something, tell me in private. You don't have to reprimand me or give me feedback in private. And you don't have to give me feedback in public. It only goes to Dorinda's tagline. I'm not always right, but I'm never wrong. So when somebody is giving you feedback, since you're never wrong, you become defensive and you attack them. Dorinda's my girl. You know Dorinda is my girl, but that's what she does, okay? So Leah's sister comes over. When she first walked in the door, I was like, that gotta be Leah's sister. Before they even put the little whoop wop on the bottom, I was like, that has to be Leah's sister because they look just alike. And she sits down, so for her hair is dark, she sits down Sarah, and they're like 4 years apart. They're talking about her dating this guy who she sent a picture of herself, a naked picture of herself. He has a pita shop, and she sent a naked picture of herself to this guy, but she had a pita over her pocketbook, and she had a pita pocket over her pocketbook. Yeah. And he sent it to somebody else, but thought he sent it to somebody else and really sent it right back to Leah. So she was like, I can't believe that a guy that I'm interested in would actually do something like that. So, but she was like, she's going to give him another chance. So we're going to see how it's going to go. She calls him Peter Chip. So she talks about connecting with her mother and how her mother is still kind of mad at her. And her sister says, you guys have the same dynamic as you had when you would always get in trouble as a rebellious child. And you haven't changed that dynamic. And that seems to be the only way that you know how to connect to our mom, is when she is disappointed in your behavior, in your bad behavior. And I was like, come on, Sarah. That's when you gotta listen to your little sisters, okay? I was like, okay, girl. And I was like totally on board with that. I thought that was a great analysis. And I was like, that's what Leah needs to do. She needs to change the dynamic of her relationship with her mother. And then her sister told her, you got to stop telling her everything, because of your dynamic, she still looks at you as a child, not as two women having a conversation about, you know, going out drinking and stuff like that. She's still treating you as a mother, not as a peer or a woman, you know, another woman talking to another woman. And I think that you need to change the dynamic. Stop telling her everything. But she's my mother. That's Leah's rationale. It's like, but that's my mom. I should be able to tell her anything. She not liking what you're telling her, girl. She doesn't like it. So stop telling her the things. And you only tell her things that you do, like the crazy things that you do. And she's not interested in hearing that. So then they go to Ramona's house. Elise is there. Nicole, I don't know who Nicole is. I don't know why they gave her a little title thing. But she was like, they're at Ramona's apartment. And they are, you know, having a little get together. Ramona says, I like to have women around each other to network, to get to know each other. So Elise says, you know, asking her, you know, do you have condoms in your nightstand? And she was like, no, I don't. And this and that. So Elise goes around the room. She goes to her room, and she's pulling Ramona's drawer, her nightstand drawers open. She opened the bottom drawer, and I saw 48 Laws of Power. Did y'all see that Robert Greene book on the thing? Okay. That's what stood out. I wasn't looking for them. I was like, I want to see what else is in her nightstand. Pull them open, Elise. Go ahead, girl. All I saw was a 48 Laws of Power down there. And so Ramona says that she was with one guy one night and he used 3 condoms. And I thought to myself, you must have been dried up. That's sad. Dorinda shows up and she was like, hey, what's up, everybody? She came in. She was in good spirits. But Ramona was like, I could not uninvite her. So, you know, she kind of came at me at the spa. So I couldn't uninvite her. So I hope she's not in a bad mood where she's not being mean. So, of course, Dorinda starts telling Ramona about herself. She just can't help it. And she was like, you know, I don't like what you did. I don't like how you went about it. But then she was demonstrating the same behavior that she asked Ramona not to do at the bathhouse. If you're going to give me feedback on my behavior, do it in private. But now you're in front of all these women, and half of these women you don't even know. So now you're embarrassing your good girlfriend, and you just asked her not to do the same thing, and now you're doing it. And so she says Sonia's mad because she was crying to Dorinda because Ramona told Sonia that she was gaining weight and she didn't like it. And she was like, if I want to eat, I want to eat. If I want to gain a little weight, I still look good. And I think actually Ramona looks better with a little more, you know, her breasts look fuller. She just looks, I don't know. She looks better to me. She looks, I don't know, I guess healthy. I don't know. And she looks, but she's not big. She's not big at all. Sonia is probably a size 6 or 8, probably. And for, you know, white women, that's big. You know, I mean, that's too big for them. You know, they be thinking their butts is big and stuff like that. Not these new age white women, honey. They want their butts big so they could be attractive to Tyrone and them. But anyway, so Dorinda says, y'all having cocktails and conversations, and she's like, yeah, you know, that's the name of Nini's, her little thing that she does with her friends and stuff. Cocktails and conversations. I was like, okay. Talk to me in private. They arguing. They going back and forth. Sonia is mad at Ramona. Dorinda and Sonia walk out. They leave. And she was like, I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to leave. So they go to the elevator. So Elise comes out and she's like, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave. And she was like, no, because you already know what I'm going through. So it's, to me, I don't feel like it's an excuse to, if you are going through stuff, there's not an excuse to be mean and hateful to your friends. That's not an excuse. You need to figure out a way to express yourself so your friends can understand what you're going through, and hopefully your friends will be supportive and not do what you're doing to them by being mean, not be mean to you. So instead of being mean, try to be a little bit more humble and come to your friends and vulnerable and explain to them, this is what I'm going through. Kind of, you know, be easy on me. Yeah, I might snap a little while, but it's not directed towards you. I'm going through these things. I think communication would have, you know, alleviated that. Dorinda's not telling anybody anything because, once again, she's pretending like everything is okay. So all of these things and all of her behaviors on how she should have probably grieved, you know, in the last 6 or 7 years, this coming out now. And so it looks off. And that's why I was like, why is she mentioning Richard all of a sudden? All of a sudden. Yeah, because she's going through the house that is being renovated, because it was all the stuff that they shared together, her life that she was holding on to. And the reason why she's so mad and irritated with Tinsley is gone. So I'm antsy. I'm going to snap at you. But she's just a regular ass snapper anyway. But anyway, so she says, when I'm having problems, I need a soft place to land. I don't need you to be harder on me when I'm going through issues. But, you know, Dorinda, if you're not explaining yourself to your friends, they don't know how they should handle you, you know? So they end up coming back and they talk and they hug and everybody's looking at them like they crazy. And that was the end of the episode. So y'all tell me what y'all think. I actually thought it was a very, very good episode. I love the meeting that Dorinda had with her life coach. I love the analysis that Sarah gave Leah about the dynamic between her and her mother. I love the symbolism in Dorinda's house being flooded, and for her to have to actually cleanse herself and allow herself to grieve. I thought it was a very good episode. So y'all let me know what y'all think. I may come back with a video tomorrow to go over the topics that you guys put in on the community page. Thank you for all of your input. I do want to go through those things. One thing I want to say is I don't like to particularly talk about politics. Every now and again I'll talk about it, but I don't really like, because it lowers my vibration. It really does. It really lowers my vibration, and I can't tune into that frequency. I just can't. It's too staticky for me, if that makes sense. All right, y'all. Take care of each other. Have a wonderful Friday. Protect your energy, and let's get down in the comments. Peace.